All right. Welcome to the Mindfulness Broadcast, everyone. I'm Tiffany Grimes with Evolutionary Consulting, and I'm going to jump right in because I have a full 15 minutes and I'm excited to talk about time and our relationship with time. And this is one that I have worked with in my own life for a while when I kept hearing myself say, I don't have time, I don't have time, I don't have time. And judging people who I thought had a lot of time and what that meant about them. And so it comes from my heart. And it's also work that I do with people as a professional life coach every single day. And so I'm excited to talk about that together today. As a certified professional life coach, you can imagine that I'm working with people who their whole purpose is that they want to get unstuck. They want to live their best life. They want to spark that desire and that passion. And as I ask questions about that, things like, what do you want your life to be? And how do you want to be in relationship with this or in experience with this? I feel people get excited and I hear their voice change and their pitch and their tone and the pace. And their expressions get more playful, and it's so fun to watch people come alive. And then immediately following that, what happens are statements like, well, the problem is, or that can never happen because, or it would be nice, but it'll always be a dream. This idea that what they want is out there because, for a million reasons, because, and I'll talk about that in a moment, but their whole energy shifts, their tones lowers and their body posture changes. And we start this whole physiological experience happens when we start talking about how we will never get what we want. And I see it and experience it and hear it every day. And what I know, because I've done this work for a long time now, is that it always boils down to the same thing, always, which is this belief in what my self-critics are saying. There's this dialogue, I often describe it as like the brain and the mind. And the brain's job is to keep us safe. And what the brain decides is safe is being efficient, being in habit, regardless of the outcome of those things. And so when my mind says, I want to change, I want to do this thing, I want to eat differently, speak differently, think differently, experience differently, that is out of whack for the brain. It's out of habit. It's out of efficiency. And so the brain starts giving the mind messages like, you can't do this. Remember when you tried, you aren't the type of person that does this thing. And so the mind just we believe it. We believe it because we've been hearing it for so long. And the number one message that the critics give to keep our minds getting smaller and not doing the expanding that we want to do is time. It's time, this belief that I don't have time. And so when I hear that, I get really excited because that I know good changes are about to take place. Things are about to happen because it's not a lack of time. I know that. It's a lack of prioritizing ourselves, believing in ourselves, valuing ourselves and what we're passionate about. And that we do have control over. We can't add more hours to a day. We do have control over what we fill that day with. And even if we don't wholeheartedly believe that, we can. We do. We don't need more hours in a day. What we need is to be more present within each moment of the day, and we can control that. So we can create habits that allow us space and ease and observation built into things we're already doing. We can take 60 seconds or 5 minutes or 10 minutes and breathe and focus on our senses. We have these places that we get to expand and create time in a way. And so I wanted to offer that out today, that as you hear your own voice say, I don't have time, or I'll do this when I retire, or wouldn't it be nice if, to just simply imagine that brain and that mind and allow your mind to say, I'm going to do this for my hands. Thank you, brain. Thank you for trying to keep me safe. I know that's a big job of yours, but I do have time, and prioritize it. And mindfulness is such a powerful way for us to create that process. And so we're going to go ahead and go in through a practice now. I'll guide you through it. Part of this, we have our eyes open. Part of it, we have our eyes closed. But it's a way really to create the space and the time, even when we think it is absolutely impossible. So when you're ready, go ahead and close your eyes. Take several deep breaths and feel yourself just sink into this moment. Sink into this space. Feel everything come to a slow, slow stop. Invite yourself to be a human being right now. Allow the human doing to take a break. Just breathing, using our breath as that anchor. Allow the stillness to move from your mind all the way down through your body to the tips of your toes. And we're going to use our 5 senses as a guide today. Our 5 senses are always only present. They're only happening in this moment. And so in that way, they're a wonderful anchor for us at any point in the day to build in presence, to build in space, to create time. We'll start with taste. Allow your tongue to move around in your mouth. Maybe lick your lips. Glaze over your teeth. Notice any sensations that are happening in your mouth and what you're tasting. And with all of these, we're focusing on the quality, as many as possible. Is it warm? Is it salty? Is it sweet? This is a wonderful practice to incorporate into any lunchtime or snacking or morning cup of coffee or tea, rather than just eating at our desk while we work or quickly putting something in our body, is to take 2 minutes or 3 minutes and fully enjoy it. What does it feel like? What does it taste like on my lips? What does it taste like on the front of my tongue versus the back of my tongue? What does the top of it taste like versus the bottom of it taste like? Just exploring. And now we'll move up to the nose, inviting just a sense of receiving. Opening the olfactory senses, allowing them to smell our surroundings. There might be something very pungent, very, very fragrant. And then going beyond that to things that are more subtle. And again, focusing on the quality of this. Is it strong? Is it faint? Is it sweet? Is it sour? Our sense of smell goes directly into our emotional brain, into our memory center, our emotion center. It's the only one of the five senses that does. This is another practice in and of itself that can be so wonderful in stretching time. That concept of stop to smell the roses. When you leave work, just as soon as you walk outside, hugging somebody that you love so much, just notice the smells. Allow them to enter and be noticed. Now move up to our ears. And again, being in the place of receiving, allowing sound exploration, focusing on the quality. Is it high pitch, low pitch, intermittent, or constant? Our brains are story-making machines. And so our job in mindfulness is to detach from that story. We hear a sound and it makes us think of something else in a different time and in a different place. And so we're just simply receiving the sounds without the story, focusing on the quality of each sound, the hum of the air conditioning, the birds, the tapping of keyboards. And again, this is a tool that can be used throughout the day. Opening up to receiving and to listening to a single person as they speak, to the outdoors, to the morning, just listening. And now move to your full body into feeling, into this fourth sense. And I use this in two ways, how we're feeling emotionally or what we're feeling physically. And today we'll focus on the physical. So just notice what your body is feeling. Notice where it makes contact with itself, the furniture, the ground, the earrings in your ear, the hair or the lack of hair on your head, the clothing on your body, where it hangs, where it squeezes. Again, letting go of any story, any narrative, just focusing on the quality, warmth and coolness, itchy or smooth. Bringing our attention exactly where we want it. Slowing down time by being present in exactly what is. And now I'm going to invite you to open your eyes and bring your awareness to what you see. Notice colors. See where the light plays. Notice the darkness. Just look around and see without story, without judgment, without to-do lists forming. This is a wonderful exercise to bring into a daily practice. It can be as easy as really looking at the inside of a flower, a leaf. It can be a rock or a ring, fabric, just really noticing. Go ahead and close your eyes, and I want to read you something as we begin to close. This is Mary Oliver's The Summer Day, and I think it so perfectly captures this idea of creating time. And she writes, "Who made the world? Who made the swan and the black bear? Who made the grasshopper, this grasshopper, I mean, the one who has flung herself out of the grass, the one who is eating sugar out of my hand, who is moving her jaws back and forth instead of up and down, who's gazing around with her enormous and complicated eyes. Now she lifts her pale forearms and thoroughly washes her face. Now she snaps her wings open and floats away. I don't know exactly what a prayer is. I do know how to pay attention, how to fall down in the grass, how to kneel in the grass, how to be idle and blessed, how to stroll through the fields, which is what I have done today. Tell me, what else should I have done? Doesn't everything die at last and too soon? Tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life?" Thank you. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for creating the time to do this. I'll see you next week, Tuesday at 1 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. Bye.